This is the Wally Show podcast. To hear the live version, check us out each weekday morning through the WayFM app or at our website, wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where Wally teaches and where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. This podcast is also brought to you by United Faith Mortgage. Let their direct lender advantage save you time and money.
Uplifting WayFM.
Stories served with a side of Southern sass.
You're breaking my hair!
I mean charm. Here's Betty Rock.
This is a public service warning to anyone. Father's Day is this coming Sunday. Did you realize that, Gavin?
I did. I recently realized it, but I haven't gotten my dad anything. And to be honest, over the last 2 years, I haven't gotten him anything for Father's Day. I know I should go get something.
Well, I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This might be the reason why you're having a hard time as well. Dads are just hard to buy for. Everything they want is expensive, like a grill or a drone. But if you're like me and you can't afford those things, I found a list of the top things most dads want that are at least doable. So this might be helpful to keep in mind. A special meal with their friends and family.
Okay, I could at least get him a gift card to take my mom out to dinner, maybe.
That's perfect. Or another top thing was tools, but would you even know where to start?
I've never bought a tool for myself in my life. The hammer I have at home is my wife's, and it's pink, so I would not be the guy to do that.
That says so much. Well, and maybe those things are still not doable for you. Maybe you're a kid with just no job, but you still need some ideas. Well, these are things that maybe you should just restrain from doing when you're at home because they're the top pet peeves of dads. So let's see if any of these make sense for you. It includes leaving the lights on.
Oh, that's so funny because I'm not even a dad yet. That's something that's coming in the future. Yeah. But I'm already like wrapping around the house, turning every single light off. And in my head thinking like, why is my wife leaving these on?
Yeah, because I mean, someone's got to pay for the light bill.
Amen.
Another pet peeve was touching the thermostat. Don't touch the thermostat. He wants it set to 68. It might feel like an Antarctica in here, but it doesn't matter. And another thing was leaving dishes in the sink, which kind of surprises me because I would think dads wouldn't care what happens in the kitchen.
Yeah, I usually grew up with my mom doing the dishes. I primarily do the dishes in my home, and I'll take any cup that's anywhere throughout the house that my wife, sorry, honey, leaves anywhere, and I'll wash it right away.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like a mixed in your family, whereas Haley, your wife, is kind of wearing the pants in the family, and you're going around cleaning up after her.
I'm a good housewife.
Coffee shops, poolside, back porch, picnic table at the park, at your kid's soccer practice. Just about anywhere can be your classroom when you decide to go back to school online at Colorado Christian University.
I know I got my degree online, and I actually did a homework at a campsite. I was sitting around a campfire writing a paper. That is where I did some of my work that weekend. So life doesn't have to stop just because you go back to school to better yourself. You can work towards this future and this goal that you want to accomplish, and it doesn't have to totally consume you or derail your normal life with friends, your family, or what have you.
And you can earn accredited degrees from Colorado Christian without ever setting foot on campus.
So there really shouldn't be an excuse to not going back to school. If it's something you really want to do, you can do it. And all you have to do is go to ccu.edu/Wally to learn more. And the other really important thing is that Colorado Christian is committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart. So check it out, ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting WayFM, this is the Wally Show. And while most of us were happy to see mandatory quarantines being a thing of COVID past, there are many dogs that aren't so sure.
Aww.
I know. You're a dog owner, Gavin. You've got 2 dogs.
Yes, and they, in general, have separation anxiety. Like, if I go to the bathroom, they are trying to follow me into that thing. Please leave me alone.
See, that's why I'm a cat owner. Cats don't care. Well, dogs are loyal animals, and they love having you, their favorite person there to share the day with. But with many going back to the office, many vets are seeing more and more dogs dealing with separation anxiety.
Goodness.
So maybe you found yourself in the same situation and you're wondering how you can help Rover keep calm till you come back. thankfully, here are a couple of tips the World Wide Web has on hand, and they're not going to cost you an arm and a leg like
good.
it would for anti-anxiety medication for your dog.
Absolutely.
So one idea is leaving the TV or radio on as company. And I actually have a friend of mine. She has 3 dogs, and she keeps Way FM on her Alexa. So maybe you have an Alexa at home. If you just say, Alexa, play Way FM, it plays all day, and it keeps them company.
And we can say, good boy, and make them really happy.
Exactly. Another idea is setting up a two-way technology like an all-day Zoom. This seems a little...
That's a little bit of a stretch, but I will say I honestly understand it, because what I'll be doing is I'll look at my in-house camera here and there just to make sure that everyone's happy and that they're not fighting and that they're content, and I can't wait to get home to them.
Even if they were fighting, what could you do? Can you
Nothing.
talk to them?
I can actually. Every once in a while they'll bark, and I'll hit the microphone and be like, no.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're one of those
I'm a hover
parents.
parent at this point.
Yeah. And then the last one is buying one of those robot vacuums as a quote unquote friend. So a
Really?
robot vacuum like a Roomba. I don't know if this is a good idea, because speaking from the experience of a friend of mine, her mom had a dog, but it was scared of the vacuum.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would go to the bathroom because it was scared. It would be in the house.
Oh, no.
And then the vacuum
No.
couldn't tell the difference between an accident and just dust that needed to be scooped up. So that owner ended up with a bigger mess than she was planning for.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. That might not be a good idea. But like I said, you can always tell your Alexa, hey, Alexa, play Way FM, and we'll keep your dog company.
And say good boy.
Do you remember that Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. Hey, it's Wally, and that's exactly what I'm doing in my backyard. I always wanted to have a sweet built-in barbecue area, and I'm finally building it. How? I did a cash-out refinance with United Faith Mortgage, and with some of that money, I'm doing my backyard, and with a little bit more of it, I'm taking my wife on an amazing 30th anniversary trip. And all because I took a few minutes out of my day to talk to United Faith Mortgage. My guy Ryan, who's also the founder of this faith-based family of mortgage professionals, showed me multiple options, and I got to pick what worked for me. And I'm so happy I did this because I'm reaping the benefits now. And truth be told, I still have a bunch of money left over to do some other things because the value of my house has gone up so much, and the same might be true for you. And with United Faith Mortgage, there's never any pressure. And similar to Field of Dreams, if you call, they will answer. United Faith Mortgage. Start online, call anytime. UnitedFaithMortgage.com.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's what's going on today.
There is definitely a big difference between feeling like it's a little toasty outside, no, maybe I should wear a t-shirt today, and feeling like you're walking into a sauna as soon as you open your front door. And if anyone has stepped outside over the last couple of days throughout most of the United States, they know that the latter is our current reality.
I mean, I have walked outside, and it felt like I had just walked out of the shower. It's so humid, and it's like 5 in the morning.
And you have big hair. Does that make it more difficult for you?
As a woman, humidity is the killer of hair. It's terrible.
So over 235 million Americans will now be experiencing extreme temperatures of 90 degrees or hotter this week, and more than 100 record highs could be shattered by tomorrow, which is horrifying for me because as of yesterday, the AC in my house isn't working that well, and right now when I get hot, I actually get like angry. That's like a thing that I have. That's my version of hangry. Yours is hunger and anger. Mine is hot and angry.
That's not good.
No. So whatever your strategy is for keeping cool in the summer or in these like extremely hot days, whether it's a fan or a never-ending stream of sweet iced tea, I would get an abundance of that as we move forward.
Yes. I can't imagine if I had a house that the AC wasn't working. And I feel like that always happens when you need it the most.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, and I know that that's happened here at the station. So yesterday we got I noticed that the studio was just super hot, and I was like, why is it so hot in here? And the temp was set to 71.
Okay.
And I was like, that should have been my first red flag. Sure. No, I just set it lower. I was like, 65, that should be fine. And it still was bad. It even got worse throughout the day. So it's pretty rough. And thankfully, we've got some guys that are coming to check on it right now. But if you're not ready for the hot temps like Gavin and I, we are not built for these hot temps.
I'm not ready to be hot and angry.
I'm not ready for you to either.
And now for some good news.
FM. This is the Wally Show with good news. Giddy up. We know that the news is pretty tough these days, so we've come up with a couple of good ones for you. And we're going to let Gavin go first. So, Gavin, go.
A guy in Texas named Mario Ortiz recently went to his grandson's high school graduation. Now, a video of him is going viral because he cheered for every single kid who graduated.
Jackson Madden. Jackson! Alia Fayaz. Sean Ferris.
Oh, that's so awesome. And he was also the first to give them a standing ovation at the end. That's a really good guy.
That is, and you know, like at public schools, those names are just going to go on.
Oh, yeah. And some of them are incredibly hard to pronounce.
Yes. There's a student who came up with a really cool idea called memory boxes. So what he did was he visited 10 people in hospice and recorded them telling stories before they passed away.
Oh, wow.
And what's cool about it is each memory box, it's wooden, and it has that person's name on it, but it's made to look like an old radio. And so there's a dial, and when you change the dial to a different station, it tells a different story.
Oh, that's super cool.
It is. It's super cool. Now, the only bad thing would be if you're sitting down with Grandpa and he always told the same 10 stories over and over. And he's like, back in my day, like, I changed the station. That's good news. Giddy up.
Sometimes life lessons come from unlikely sources. It's the least of these with Betty Rock.
I've said it for a while, and it's because I find it ironic that so many actors and actresses are addressing the gun violence issue when they make a living doing movies where violence is king. So, you know, when you go to the theater and you see all of those posters, and it's just James Bond standing there with a gun, or John Wick, you know, it's just, it's rampant in the theater.
And film does make it look cool. Like, it looks cool to have a gun. It looks cool to be that kind of guy out there as well.
Yeah, you want to be a hero.
Yeah.
But I love this idea. So 200 well-known celebrities, including Jimmy Kimmel and Amy Schumer, they signed an open letter, and they're urging the movie industry to be more responsible when they're depicting violence on screen. So mainly this letter is asking that if a movie is made depicting irresponsible gun use, that the consequences of their actions will be written into the script.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, as a guy, and you like these kind of movies,
I do.
How would you feel if, like, let's say in the future, a movie where a character is like the Terminator, as a consequence for his actions, his battery dies? How would you feel about that?
I think that it sort of de-escalates what we're normally used to in seeing those movies, because the whole point of an action movie is that it builds on itself and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what the film industry has done, is we've gone from small action to never-ending action. So I think that it would calm things down, and I understand what they're trying to get to. But then I would think the excitement of movies would also die down a little bit.
Would that keep you from wanting to see it?
Probably not necessarily, but you wouldn't walk away necessarily feeling the exhilaration of some of those action scenes like you have in the past.
Right. Well, you know, another example would be if John Wick, instead of taking responsibility into his own hands with harsh punishment, he could instead start a conversation with his antagonist. Can you see this happening?
That's when I would not go see that one movie. I don't want to watch more movies about talking.
Get enough of that from your wife?
Yes. Oh, no, I don't.
Oh,
Pretend I didn't say that.
You said yes.
No.
Look, I know one of the biggest bonuses of a podcast is being able to skip through things you don't want to hear about, but I would encourage you just to sit tight for just a second, because as the war in Ukraine enters month 3, it's hard to believe it's been that long, and you watch all the stories of families being displaced and lives being shattered, and you think, man, that's really sad. I wish there was something I could do about it. Here's the cool thing. You and me and all the potties could get together and actually maybe make a difference by helping families in Ukraine who have been displaced by all this violence. There's nearly 11 million people that have been forced out of their homes. And imagine that. You can't take everything with you. You've got to just pick and choose the few things you can carry as you try to get your family to safety. They say desperate times calls for desperate measures. Well, these are desperate times. That's why the Wally Show is partnering with Food for the Poor and 3,500 pastors in Ukraine and surrounding countries to help feed these people. And here's what's really cool. You can provide a meal for 25 cents, a quarter what we plug into a gumball machine. You could actually feed a child a meal. So now do some math with me. Your gift of $1 would actually feed a family of 4. Your gift of $10 sends 40 meals. Your gift of $25 will feed 100 people who desperately need it. So while this is a really sad story on the world stage, it is really cool to see the difference that a few motivated potties could make. So text the word Wally to 91999. That's Wally, W-A-L-L-Y, to 91999, and we'll send you a link to make a difference today.
Oh, I hate goodbyes, but there's still more fun to be found through our YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Just search Wally Show. Don't forget to join our exclusive Potty Facebook group. You can find the link in the description of this podcast. And thanks to Colorado Christian University Online and United Faith Mortgage for supporting what we do.